He's a very strange young man.
He's an idiot. Comes from upbringing. Parents are probably idiots too.
Yes, it's another fine episode of Mid-South Wrestling Mayhem. I am your host, Peter Van. Welcome to episode 2. Wow. Just gotta say, thank you very much to everybody who tuned in for episode 1 and supported episode 1. Got a lot of great feedback from you guys. Not all good, but I say great feedback nonetheless because, well, you know, as long as I learn from what you all have told me, this is going to be a very good thing, and quite the success, I have to say so far. Spoke to a lot of the wrestlers out there, and promoter and a couple other guys, and I've just heard nothing but good things about this. So, thank you very much to everybody who's supporting this. We got tons of show to go over. I visited MACW last night on the old Highway 1 in Jonesboro. I think it's like 53, 55 or somewhere close to that. It's right behind TDI Automotive, US 1, Jonesboro. Whenever they have a show, look them up on Facebook, MACW, and you will not be disappointed. Obviously, it was their follow-up show to their Spring Mayhem that they did, and what a solid show it was. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk NWA Mid-South. Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame was last night, Saturday night as well. We're going to get into that, and plus, you know, obviously the future events coming up. I mean, you know, it's what I do. So let's get into it, shall we? Went to MACW on Saturday night, and Craig Stone came out and pays homage to referee Danny Jackson, who after 23 years is retiring. I can't wait for that interview. I talked to him personally last night during the show, at the start of the show, or prior to the start of the show, and he was on board about wanting to come here. So he'll be on Mid-South Mayhem soon. I'm totally stoked about that. So Craig Stone come out, opened up the show, and, well, let's hear what he had to say.
And then we're going to get this show started. Yeah. At Spring Mayhem, we saw some stuff. We saw a few weeks ago when MBC cut Mike Anthony out. Mike kind of turned a new leaf. He's been going after MBC, and for that, I tip my hat, because anybody that will go after MBC, I've got to help him out a little bit. So he took it to Ray Ray at Spring Mayhem.
Oops, I think I got my order a little backwards, but that's okay. Behold the power of podcasting. I can fix that with one simple explanation. Actually, what happened was, Danny Jackson come out. Craig paid homage to him, like I had said. Dirty Little Dave came out and waxed poetic about his days in Ozark Mountain Wrestling and how he helped Danny get his start. It was actually a very nice thing by Dirty Little Dave. And Dirty Little Dave doesn't do nice things, but I got to give credit where credit was due. It was a very nice. It was a very nice speech, and I wish the audio was up. I'd absolutely play it. So, Craig said in a very heartfelt manner that it was a honor and a privilege to share the ring with Danny Jackson. Craig announced that Big Mean Vic was on vacation. And knowing what I know about Big Mean Vic, he's probably serving a community service sentence or something somewhere. But we'll go with the little vacation story. So tonight's main event was announced, Mike Anthony versus Idle Bane, because Big Mean Vic was indisposed, we shall say. And he got interrupted again by Tyler Knight. Tyler Knight demanded a match against Mekakov. Spring Mayhem, them two got together. Tyler Knight took exception to the fact that Mekakov was trying to end his career in the ring, and he called him out. And not only did he call him out for the Diamond State Championship. Norman came out, answered the call. I don't know why Tyler Knight would want any of that, but Norman's going to take his hat off, and while his back was turned, Tyler Knight came up and, a few forearm shots to the back, bell rings, started the match. Here we go. But Norman just turned it around and took it to him. Like I said, I still don't know why Tyler Knight would want any of that. And just took it to him. A flurry of punches. His finishing maneuver, 1, 2, 3, squash match, done. I mean, like, in the time it took me to explain what happened during that match, that is literally how quickly that match was over. I mean, Tyler Knight, it was just a hands down, just a squash match. It was just a mugging, really, if you want to be honest about it. Norman wasn't done, though, after the 3 count. He shoved the ref and destroyed Knight with more haymakers and a full Nelson slam. Johnny Premier comes out from the back for the save, jumps on Mekakov, beats him up a little bit. Mekakov retreats. The two exchange words. So, just a little foreshadowing on my part here. I foresee a Diamond State title match between the two of them. For as short as it was, I definitely give that a 4-star deal. I mean, the night was solid. Craig, I'm sure you're listening. I hope you're listening. But I don't know. I kind of, little inside info. I kind of talked to Craig in the parking lot afterwards at the end of the night. And I said to him, I walked up to him, and the first thing I said to him was, I don't know what kind of fire he lit under the butts of these guys in the back, but everybody was on their game. It was just a solid night. Second contest featured Matt McNamara versus Johnny Premier. Young versus veteran. Always a solid, well, I should say almost always a solid match. Matt has obviously been following the training that he's been under the tutelage of Derek King, and he's got a serious boot too, nonetheless. And it was a great back and forth at the beginning of the match. But McNamara, being the former official that he is, definitely stretched the rules a bit and knew how to work the gray areas of the match. He has a hell of a drop kick too. He hit Premier with a drop kick at one point in the match, and oh my gosh, just great elevation, just great poise, just great character, but he's still a jerk nonetheless. But Johnny Premier, I can't take nothing away from his skill set either. Now that I'm talking about the two of them. He hit this great backflip off the second turnbuckle and hit McNamara with a splash and got the pin. Very solid, the two of them. Very well executed match. Like I said, it would have been, I probably would have gave it a 5-star match had McNamara not, bent the rules and was quite liberal with the rules as he was. But just a tremendous match, 4 stars. What happened next? Oh, MVC comes out. Bane, Rotten Randy, Ray come out to discuss the loss to lethal injection at Spring Mayhem. And they blamed Mike Anthony. Ray has a problem with, and I don't like, I've heard his name 10 times and I still cannot properly pronounce it, I don't think. But I'm going to give it a shot. And I mean, absolutely no disrespect to you. Damone Celavano. Ray clearly has a problem with him. He just came to the ring with a bottle of Febreze and said, he had a real big issue with the way he smells and the locker room and all that other nonsense, and wanted to spray him. So he called him out, and Damone answered that call as well. It was a night of calling outs. I mean, it was like promo city, but everybody did their part well, and it was really just a good stuff. So Damone comes out, takes it to Ray Ray, but in MVC fashion, they use every trick in the book, as you would like to say, that they have and they know in their arsenal. And the numbers game, a lot of the times, proved to be too strong. Damone, no, I gotta say, for as many times as he was hit with a cane, and I believe there was some choking going on with some athletic tape and other misdoings by Idol Bane on the outside. He overcame the odds with an impressive cutter and a leg lock roll up. Got the 1-2-3, beat Ray Ray. Tremendous match. Damone took a cane to the back and said, well, I said that. Let's do that. Let's take a quick break. It's Mid-South Wrestling Mayhem. Are you a wrestler, or do you have a promotion in Arkansas, Tennessee, or Mississippi, and would you like to be featured on Mid-South Wrestling Mayhem? It's easy to do. Just send them midsouthwrestlingmayhem@gmail.com. Find me on Twitter at MSWMAYHEM, or find me on Facebook, Peter Van. Drop me a line of what you did or upcoming events that you'd like noted, and I'll put it out there. It's just that easy. Do you have a business or website that you want advertised? Email me now, midsouthwrestlingmayhem@gmail.com. Rates are very reasonable. Mid-South Wrestling Mayhem is being heard in all the United States of America on one of the largest social media platforms worldwide. Listeners are sure to have good taste, and I'm sure want to hear about your product or service. So email me now, midsouthwrestlingmayhem@gmail.com, to get in on the action in this groundbreaking podcast.
Want to contact the show? You can find us on Twitter at MSWMAYHEM, or email us, midsouthwrestling@gmail.com.
Yes! Okay. Sorry, Mercury Brothers. I may or may not have written off your entrance music. But it's of mice and men. How do you not like that? I mean, seriously. It's so badass. Anyway, it's Peter Van. You're listening to Mid-South Wrestling Mayhem. I amuse myself sometimes. We're talking MACW house show at the MACW Arena, US 1, behind TDI Automotive, Jonesboro. Post-intermission. That's where I was. I was at intermission. So this is post-intermission. Post-intermission came out, Dirty Little Dave and his manager, Sam Dollar. They call out any young punk in the back. Casanova comes out and answers that call out. Like I said, it was a night of many call outs. It was pretty good. Casanova comes out and tries to fight Dave. Dave runs like Dave does several times. Goes outside with Sam Dollar, talks with him, and has a whole big powwow meeting, whatever. Several times during the match, Sam got involved, distracted the ref, and Dave took advantage, and while Cass's back was turned, Dave hits Cass with a set of brass knuckles. Cass, I'll tell you what, though, Casanova, he has a lot of tenacity for being hit with a set of brass knuckles, being hit with a chain, being hit with Sam's cane. It was pretty impressive, the beating he took. But Dirty Little Dave was putting on a clinic Oh, and Sam Dollar, I got to give him credit too. I can't take credit away from him. But yeah, Sam and Dave. Sam and Dave, really? Wait a minute. It appears I've been doing this all wrong this whole time. Sam and Dave. You all know who Sam and Dave are. Yeah. I hope they're hearing this. I hope this gets to them somehow. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Sam and Dave were putting on a clinic in heel move from Kane Hiss to chain chokes to ref distractions, and proved to be too much for Casanova. Another 4-star match, only because of the heel clinic that was put on. But Sam and Dave also had some parting shots for Casanova after everything was said and done and over. How do they not use this as their ring entrance music? It's Sam and Dave! Anyway, that's enough of that. I know, they're really the dirty little gang. You don't have to tell me anything. I already know who they are. But I just thought the whole Sam and Dave connection thing was amusing. Okay, maybe to myself, but whatever. This ain't for your entertainment. This is for my own amusement. Kidding. Where were we? Lethal Injection comes out. Brad's got a mic. Clearly something's on his mind. They apologize for their behavior in the past in so many words. How, they said they treated the fans and people like jerks. So, what do? They issue an open challenge for the tag titles. Brandon Barber. Sorry. The Pharaoh Brandon Barber and Connor Vega come out. I'm not sure if Barber and Vega have teamed before. A little birdie told me that they had once in a while, but the clear advantage, you would think, in a match like that, if I just told you that Lethal Injection, the Mercury Brothers, whatever you want to call them, we're going to fight Brandon Barber and Connor Vega, who would you give that advantage to? I'll sit here and I'll wait for your answer. That's right. You would say Lethal Injection. If not just alone, and I'm not taking nothing away against Brandon Barber or Connor Vega's technical abilities and wrestling abilities, but just for the fact that they have teamed together for so many years, Lethal Injection, Mercury Brothers, have teamed together for so many years. So you would figure it would be the advantage Mercury Brothers. On a side note, I thought, truly and honestly, and I'll admit to being quick to judgment, I really didn't think much about this match. I really thought it was going to be a throwaway match. But Breyer started off the match, and him and Barber, they're putting on a technically sound match. You have to love when two teams have so much respect for each other, and they did. They showed the mutual sportsmanship and mutual respect, shook hands, and the whole deal. Barber took advantage after a couple of arm drags, tagged Vega, and they had a tremendous, Barber and Vega had a tremendous double team suplex. Breyer pushes Vega to the wrong side of town, tags in Brad, and the two have a series of again another technical wrestling showcase. But Breyer and Brad, how they do, kept Vega isolated in their corner, and just had the series of quick tags and their double teams, and that ultimately was going to be the downfall eventually of Vega and Barber. Vega gained advantage, and but at the end of the day, let me try that again. Vega came back a couple of times and gained advantage, but at the end of the day, Lethal Injection hit their finish. 1, 2, 3, it was over. I was a little concerned about Brad because during the match, Vega was doing this Rough Rider, and he seemed to land on the back of the neck during one of the bounces of Brad Mercury, and I'm told that he is actually okay. But, I mean, it looked really bad. He, like, kind of torqued his neck a bit. Out comes Damone, though. Yes, Salvino cuts a promo on Barber, smacks him around, smacks around Vega and Conor Vega, and apparently Mr. Big Man on campus now wants a shot at Action Jackson, who, by the way, wasn't present at this show. He was taking care of bigger and better things in Texas, which, you know, good for him. I really hope he goes far. Well, a lot of people do, actually. You know, Action Jackson, I've talked about him the first episode, just a tremendous, tremendous talent. Now it's time for the main event. The Idol Bane versus Mike Anthony. MVC with the numbers game as usual, like I said earlier. But we can't forget Anthony rolled with MVC for a while and knows how they are. He comes out, jumps in the ring, but Bane quickly just starts stomping on him and gets advantage early. Ray Ray's outside. Second verse, same as the first. Ray, just him and Idol just switched roles, and he was the one on the outside with a lot of misgivings and misdoings towards Anthony while the referee was distracted, along with Rotten Randy, who, you know, had the cane and took advantage that way. But Danny catches him, and he dismisses Ray, and Ray got all up in Danny's face and started putting hands all over Danny. Well, Danny Jackson was having none of it. Danny shoved Ray halfway across the ring, dismissed him again, kicked Ray out, which gave Anthony enough time to catch a breath, recover, and unleash a series of kicks outside the ring, and then back inside the ring, but Idol quickly retained the advantage. Bane kind of was stalling during the match a few times, but I would like to believe, in my professional opinion, and mind you, it's only my opinion, I believe Bane was stalling because he's a tag wrestler, and, you know, he ran the gamut in singles competition, but something happens to your stamina and your, well, not your strength, but pretty much your stamina and your tempo when you go from being a tag or a singles wrestler to a tag wrestler. And I believe it may have changed over time when, you know, while tagging with Big Mean Vic, who was on vacation, allegedly. But Bane still maintained control, and he held the sinister southpaw on Mike Anthony for what seemed like 20 minutes. Anthony tried several times to break the hold, but after the second attempt, it went from an upright standing hold to Bane putting him down on the mat and had him on the ground. Anthony gained control. However, he finally was able to get out of the move in a most interesting fashion. Both men ended up down on the canvas at one point after Anthony broke the hold on the mat. Anthony hit an elbow off the top rope and goes for his finisher, but Bane hits a low blow while Danny was distracted by Rotten Randy. Bane gets the pin, 1, 2, 3. Anthony wants the rematch. Anthony is quite upset, Mike Anthony, with Danny Jackson, and he wasn't really getting in his face, but was explaining his side of things. Craig Stone comes out with Mike Anthony out there. Mike Anthony gives Danny a nice send-off. Craig comes out to announce the new MAC general manager, Danny Jackson, which was a surprise to Danny and a lot of guys. Apparently it wasn't big news. But Danny said immediately next week and I will be going next week to MACW again. That Danny Jackson will be, or not Danny, I'm sorry, Mike Anthony will be getting his rematch against Idle Bane. So that's good. But I mean, it was all in all, that was another 4-5-star match. The whole night as a whole, just incredible. I mean, it really was. Like I said, these guys stepped up their game, and if you guys out there listening really have to get out and check out the show because it is rather impressive. Which is why I'm going back next week. I didn't set the bar high as far as expectations, but that's my cynical side, and I never do for a lot of shows that I go to. But wow, at one point, the reason I got tripped up talking about the lethal injection match is because at one point, during the show, if you've seen me or you'll see me, I'll be the guy who looks like I'm texting the whole time, the whole evening. I'm actually making show notes to discuss all this stuff. And at one point, I had to put my phone down because I was into that lethal injection Brandon Barber, Conor Vega match. I mean, that was a 5-star match. It really was good. Let's hit some news real quick. Upcoming events, etc. Wrap it up and go home. NWA Mid-South, Simon Reed wins the Unified Heavyweight Championship after what is considered the most heated match in NWA Mid-South history, and using trickery and deception as usual. The Office defeated the Golden Boy, Greg Anthony. Jim Cornette, along with Doug, Tommy, and Eddie Gilbert, and long overdue Jimmy Hart, beautiful Bobby Eaton, and of course Bill Dundee were all inducted into the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame on Saturday the 13th as well. Happy birthday, Derek King. June 1st also as well. I can't wait for June 1st alone. Extreme Midget Wrestling in North Little Rock at Jimmy Doyle's. I'll be there. I hope to see you guys there too. Anyway, my name is Peter Van. This has been the Mid-South Wrestling Mayhem Podcast, episode number 2. Thanks for checking it out. Like I said, you guys want to contact the show, midsouthwrestlingmayhem@gmail.com. Find me on Twitter, MSWMAYHEM, or find me on Facebook, Peter Van. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in and checking out episode number 2. Peace, love, chicken grease. I am out of here for another week, or another episode. Remember, every day above ground is a good day. And if you're not listening to this on the Sunday that it's out, happy Mother's Day to everybody, or belated Mother's Day. I'll see you all again next time.